Hi everybody, this is lycheepunnet with El Prez and our two segregated guests. We have celednb who came on for blue, and we have I don't even know what we're calling him anymore. Uh,
Tom to be mom.
Tim Tom the Bim Bomb. He's still that? Okay, he's Tim Tom the Bim Bomb. He's presumably going to be on for Red. Schedules became strange, so we're actually doing the overview before we do the Red video. So there's that, and it's entirely Tom's fault, like 100%.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Time zones.
That's okay. Anyway, what do you guys think about Ilia right now?
I don't feel like the core game plan changed that much with the new blue cards. It's still basically get to level 3 and kill them, but you got better at playing level 1.
I don't know. You could kind of like win the game before you even need Kaleidoscope, though. Like,
I'd be very surprised if you won the game without using.
well, I'm not in like the literal sense, but you can definitely be more ahead than you used to be.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Cards.
the bondable Ellie clone seems like it's a pretty big addition to the deck.
Mm.
You also have a way to not get completely fucked if you're out a lot of climaxes, because you can move through your deck without brainstorming, which is very relevant. And you have an early drop now that actually does stuff. That's also good, and it doesn't cost you 2 stock.
Yeah.
And you're more efficient at pulling off the combo because of the draw drop, which actually adds another couple cards to your pool of cards you're going through at level 3, which is above 20 cards now.
It's pretty good. I think you can get double Kaleidoscope every game if things go alright. And triple Kaleidoscope might happen in some games, but you have to go pretty all in. And if you don't get triple, then you still get double. Like, that's fine.
Triple seems unlikely. Like, I've only pulled it off once before the set hits, and that was very lucky.
I mean, now that the new set is here, not much has changed except the early play. The early play lets you get your pants before you refresh, and then you can just go through most of your deck. And if the climaxes treat you well, then you might pull off a triple. But at that same time, I don't think it's very likely.
It's also not really the goal of the deck, and you'll usually only keep 2 of the Ilia and not 3.
Yeah, having 3 of the Ilia is very greedy, I think.
Yeah.
Because each one, assuming you get maximum output out of your field, you're only going to get 3, or like you're going to get 4, then 5, which is still fine. But by that same token, what I'm trying to say is I don't think triple Kaleidoscope is what you should be aiming for every game. Double Kaleidoscope should be the goal, and if triple happens, it happens. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
It's still almost certainly a kill. Almost certainly. If they're above, like, if they're at Yami kill range, like 32, it is pretty much 100% a kill. And if they're anything below that, then it's likely a kill. And that's
Tell that to Tom. He survived double Kaleidoscope and the turn after.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, the turn after is just going to be you swinging and doing 353. It's not that impressive.
Well, if they're even 3-3-3, I mean, you're very likely to lose your field on the swing back.
I was like 3-6 or something.
Probably true.
I mean, like, the combo is fairly all-in. It's very, if I don't kill you here, I probably lose.
It's fine. It's still arguably the strongest finishing combo in all of Weiss.
It's definitely it's outrageous. It's just like, you do end up minusing on hand really hard for it, and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, the more relevant part is that you probably don't have a lot of climaxes left to cancel.
Yeah, and then your field is very likely just to get destroyed on the swing back if your opponent has a group of level 3s.
Well, assuming you go through most of your deck, you'll refresh quite quickly, and it depends on what damage level you're at before.
Yeah.
No, dude, but if you build power into your Kaleidoscope deck, you have options.
If you build power into
cards
your
will
Kaleidoscope
survive.
deck, you're definitely doing something wrong.
The options.
I think we touched on the 1/1 support, the Miyu that gives 1k at the beginning of the opponent's attack phase. I'm still not convinced you're going to have anything survive if your opponent really wants your cards dead, and they will, because once you're out of cards after the Kaleidoscope combo, losing due to running out of hand cards is a very real win condition for your opponents.
I
So,
mean,
yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think that's actually possible because you gain so many. There's like at least 3 cantrips you're playing, and you
Yeah,
have
but
2
it's
cards in
supposed
the back row. You're playing
It-
4 level
it's-
3s, and one of those is staying in the back row. So you're gonna have attackers. If you're gonna have
Right.
3/2 soul attackers, that's a different matter. But
Yeah, I don't.
you'll have attackers at
I'm
least.
not doubting you having enough attackers. I'm just doubting whether or not you'll be able to push enough soul, depending on where your
Yeah,
opponent's at.
that's an entirely different matter. Yeah.
I just think if you're behind pretty significantly at level 3 and your opponent ends up at like 3/3 or 3/4 after your Kaleidoscope, you're probably dead in the water, especially if they're playing a set with anti-damage or anything of that sort.
Yeah.
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 But you're supposed to kill them before that happens, so it shouldn't really be an issue.
I think the mid game bump is the biggest one. If the 1/1 is in your deck, it's basically entirely for that level 1 game. The Ellie clones being reasonably large, and then having the 1k the 2k backup as well to kind of put them over the top. And you also don't really care if they bomb you. It just gives you a soul advantage on the swing back as you just stock on them back.
I'm not convinced that the mid game's what you would call strong.
I'm not
It
saying it's
is-
strong. It's just
It's
is good
2014
enough.
Love Live,
It's
which
good
is
enough.
apparently ban-worthy.
It's good enough.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
No, I don't mean like in general, but I mean for this deck, it's good enough to get you to the late game.
I mean, what you had before was good enough to get you to the late game. What you got now is better ways to dig through your deck, better ways to mill through so you survive earlier, and a lot of really good utility that you want to play anyway.
I mean, the 1/0 Akatsuki Azusa effect is fantastic, though. That's definitely, I think, one of the better.
I don't think it's quite as good as it is in Monogatari or
I don't think
Yeah,
it's
I think
but
it.
I think
I
it's
think
fine.
it doesn't make the top 3 cut actually, because the deck needed other stuff more, and because the deck doesn't have access to free advantage, which makes the card a lot less good.
Sure.
I think the Azusa is still top 3
It's the
cards.
top 3 for me, but
It's very close. It's between that and the Ellie clone for third. I don't think the draw drop.
Well, I don't even actually have the Elicon in the top 3. It's what, but we'll get to that. Let's just say where we're putting the deck in the meta, or what rating you want to give it.
well, I definitely think like this is one of your better options against 2-lover for certain, depending on how you have the deck built. I mean, either way, really, because on attack burn is something that 2-lover does not have answers to.
Even Zwei form is good against Telovru, though.
Because
I'm not
you also have the 3/2 can't use event support. So
Yeah.
like both decks, both are I think somewhat good against 2-lover. Your mid game is going to be weaker than 2-lovers for certain, but your top end is unanswerable functionally by that deck.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a solid A to A plus deck.
I'd say A plus.
Is it even?
I don't know if it's solidly A plus. I don't know if I would really run it over a deck with like the mid game just doesn't seem like it does anything, and that's a big deal for me.
That's.
I think it's a kind of boring deck to play for certain people, but it might. I'm not sure if it's A or A plus yet. It's certainly A. Like, I'm not gonna put it anywhere lower, but I haven't actually played enough with it to say where it stands yet. It depends a lot on how the game works, because at times you just demolish your opponent and then you're just dawdling around till something happens.
Deck feels very
Which is-
swingy.
Telovru
Yeah.
does that as well. It's just got better cards. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Aside from the advanced summon, Telovru does the same thing. It just has anti-damage at the end as well.
Yeah.
That's just a really big change. I still think having a 1/0 Azusa is really strong, but other than that, See, I don't think I'll take this deck to a tournament. It's far too... Because this deck relies on doing at least somewhat well in the mid-game in order to pull off its very powerful end game. If you're entering level 2 with, like, 3 stock, half a field, and you can have as many cards as you want, it won't matter, you're probably dead in the water. And that can happen a lot of the time against some of the better decks in the game, because they'll just rush you, sometimes beat the damage.
I mean, you're not dead in the water if you cancel after that, but...
I think you're pretty dead in the
issues.
I think you're pretty dead in the water.
I mean, it depends. If you've gone through half of your deck and haven't seen more than 2 climaxes, and then you don't trigger and draw the rest of them, then you have time to catch
trigger
up.
and draw some of them. It's just going to happen.
You don't have to.
Oh, okay, sure. If we're going that way, yeah, okay. You cancel a bunch of damage. Sure.
The thing is, if things go wrong, you can't do a lot. End of story.
That's the thing. Whereas there are a lot of
do as much as other sets, yeah.
Like Monogatari can do something, Index can try and do something, Nisekoi can do something. All of these decks can do something. But Ilia just has to play its Azusa, pray it has a card or two that survives the turn, and pray to cancel. And I'm not sure I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah, I think I can agree with that.
And for that reason, I don't know if I can put it at a solid A+ deck. It has an Azusa, but unlike a lot of decks, it can't play from behind very well, especially if it triggers. Like, if it triggers climaxes, what are you going to do?
Yeah, you can't really
Get
afford
more
to pay
pants in your hand.
You can't
This
really...
is assuming you've already... Well, okay, at that point, you have pants in your hand. You probably want to brainstorm, pray to God, hit the brainstorm, hit an Ilya, and then chain yourself into a kaleidoscope at some point. But even then, you're playing from behind, and just like Talavru, if you're that far behind, you're not actually in a good position. Anti-damage or no.
Yeah, I mean, Two Lover is still a deck where it tries to be ahead by level 3, so that you can just kind of alpha strike them from 3-2.
Yeah.
But, like, it has, I think, some more solid mid-game options to avoid getting completely blown out in the event things aren't going great, but not awfully.
I think having 1075s or 107Ks, I don't know what you're going to have. Probably 7Ks, because one brainstorm. That's fine.
The way Talavera is gonna catch up is just hitting level 3 first, then fielding triple Yami and keeping 2 of the climax and surviving with the anti-damage, which Ilya can't do.
That's still not a great game plan, because it means you have to hand on core a lot of the time. Not specifically against Ilya, but yeah, at least it's a thing.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay.
Well, I mean, this deck is still fine. You can take it to a tournament and not feel bad. I personally wouldn't, because I don't like having no outs.
It depends on how much you're feeling the flow.
Yeah, it's a deck that can run extremely hot.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to run extremely hot, you may as well play something like Puyo or Little Busters. That'll do you just as well, and put nails in coffins. I don't think this deck is good enough when it's not running hot, and that's the issue. Alright,
Okay.
now this is a bit awkward since we haven't actually done red yet, but seeing as I assume we've had a cursory look at the cards, what are the 3 best... Let's go blue first. What are the 3 best blue cards?
I think mine are going to differ from everybody else's, so let's go with the others first.
Alright, I think the Advanced Summon is the best card in the set. Then probably the Brainstorm. It's a no-brainer, I guess. And third one, I'm kind of wavering, but I want to say the Ursa, because that effect is obscene. It's going to get you to your second refresh that much faster, and it's going to set up a second refresh, and if you can do that, then Kaleidoscope's a lot easier to hit. I think it's just really powerful.
I'm going to go with the early play. I think that's still my number 1. I think I would actually put Draw Ditch at number 2, and then the Brainstorm at number 3.
Okay, I'm the same. Also, early summon into Draw Ditch and then the Brainstorm.
You
In
think
order of relevance, the cards have for the deck.
I just think the Draw Ditch in general is something that's going to be more useful than the Azusa in the deck.
you actually think the Draw Ditch is that much better?
Not that it's
Yeah.
it's not necessarily like extraordinarily better. I only think it's slightly better. But I feel like the Azusa in that deck is more of like a 1 year behind, where the Draw Ditch is helping you win more often.
What is
No,
it?
the
What is
Draw
it?
Ditch is more useful for the deck.
I guess so. You do need to slam a climax at level 1. But
Yeah, and not only that, but it also helps you at level 3. Those extra couple cards do matter. It's like a level 0 that's not dead at level 3, that feels okay to play at 0, that feels okay to play at 1. It just stays relevant throughout the game.
I mean, that's fine, I guess. I'm still not convinced it's that good. I can see it as a 4-off because you don't really have a different card you'd rather put at level 0, but being that good is questionable, I think.
From the times I've played with the deck, the Draw Ditch has been amazing.
I don't deny it's amazing. I played with the profile. It is amazing, but better than the Brainstorm is difficult for me to justify. Better than the Usher is difficult for me to justify.
The thing is with the Brainstorm, I've actually found myself not brainstorming a lot. It's more like just an assist that I have in the back row from which I can brainstorm if I need to.
Well, I mean, that's fine. That's how the game should be played.
Yeah.
I know that Bushiroad likes to force the game towards Brainstorm every turn, but that's not how the game is normally played. I still think that the Brainstorm does more in more situations, because, yeah, you get to draw drop sometimes, yeah, you sometimes draw your climax, yeah, you sometimes get a discard out, but the Brainstorm is just extremely good. Well, I mean, we agree to disagree.
Yep.
Red, there's not really a lot to say here. The best deck that Red produces
Did Tom die?
What? I'm here.
No, he's just
Okay.
here.
Because
I
we
mean,
skipped over
my
him.
top 3 blue would be Advanced Summon, Brainstorm, then probably Draw Drop. So,
Okay.
Sure, I'm being contrarian here. But best red cards. I don't think there are any good magic red cards that make it into the deck. Maybe into Zwei form, but even then, I'm not convinced.
There's
they're all
some
just
stuff that can
kind of
make
like-
it into Zwei form. Like, the only cards that stand out as relevant are the Kuro Advanced Summon,
There's an
the
anti-level
Kuro
bomb, isn't there?
Brainstorm, and the Anti-Level Bomb, yeah.
Yeah. Sure, we can do red magic cards, in which case I think I put the anti-level bomb at the top, followed by... what's next? I think the Kuro Salvage Brainstorm. That card is pretty good. And I don't like the Advanced Summon. I don't think it's good at all. But...
You can also say Level 1 Bomb. That's like the only other card that's relevant, and the 1075,
the
I
card
guess.
that might go into Kaleidoscope. I put the level 1 bomb there somewhere. I don't actually know.
Is there a reason to necessarily have more red in Kaleidoscope, or just stay mono blue?
Mono blue.
There's
red.
no reason to splash into
none
red.
of the red cards are good enough.
Yeah, so you just stay mono blue then.
Yeah,
Well,
Rather
you
they
have
don't
the-
help the deck's purpose good well enough.
You have the runner at level 0, but
Yeah,
that's it.
about it.
Yeah, that's it.
As for Gem, I think the card that makes it possible is the Sinon clone.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's
giving you
straight
a
up
valid
best
payoff for being in the trait archetype is a big deal.
It's just straight up the best red card. I don't think it's a competition. Next one is probably the Brainstorm.
no, the Free Fresh.
You think?
What's
I think
Free
that
Fresh
enables
is
the deck.
What's the free fresh
It's
do?
not a-
The Brainstorm, yeah.
The Free
That's the
Fresh
third one.
isn't. It doesn't cantrip you. You go down 1 card.
Is it free fresh like plus 1,000 to your field or something?
No,
It's Free Fresh change into the Too Fat Healer.
Oh,
Free Fresh comes
It's a
into
cost 1, ditch 1 healer. 2 heals. Essentially.
heal 2, I guess, but
that's pretty sweet though.
Yo, if you're gonna call regular free freshes heals, then you call
yeah,
this
yeah, yeah, sure. But are you really going to have enough sustaining power? Like, does this deck have an advantage engine? As far as I know, the
Yes, it
brainstorm and
does.
Just
Yes,
as
it's called a brainstorm.
and that's why the brainstorm is my second.
uh,
You can also just trigger gates.
I mean, the runner, I guess.
Eh,
But
no, that does not count.
Sure.
well, the runner's
That's-
rude.
I have
That's why I
brainstorm
like
second.
it.
It needs a advantage engine, and you just don't really have. Aside from that, and clock on calls. I don't even know to run the clock on.
But you're
call.
not 100% sure you're even playing.
I don't think you're on that card. But it's there.
I think it's fine. It's better than the Marco Luvia, and you don't have that many 1/0s.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, no, I think brainstorm then free fresh, and I'm not budging on that. The free
think
fresh
that's
is
fair.
sweet, but you want both every game, but you get hurt more if you don't have the brainstorm than if you don't have the free fresh.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, seems fun.
Mm.
All right. So I guess that's it for the overview for Ilya.
I really hope Spurdo Spärde has been on the screen the whole time.
It has not, because I never got an image of this.
Oh,
What?
I guess we have to do a redo then, don't we?
No, we have never redone any videos we have ever made with call drops and all.
Yeah, but-
just
but
edit
speak-
the video and put the whatever
I
it's
have
called.
never edited
there.
a video either.
Well, get him on the screen now.
That's fine.
Get them on the screen now.
And make it the screen cap.
Spurdo Spärde?
Yep. So Ilia is, I think, a very explosive set.
Oh
It's
my
a set
god,
that
it
will
is
probably.
Pedobear.
It is, yes. It'll probably attract people to playing this game because people like little girls.
I'm like at risk of going to jail because of this.
Again, not in the United States borders. The only ones at risk are you and Tim Tom the Bim Bomb.
I'm
Eh?
concerned for my own safety. I'm not even
Well,
into lollies.
assume that this video is what we classify as relating to child pornography. The production is happening in the United States, which means those not in the United States are safe.
There. It's like now it's super enlarged in the middle of the screen.
Excellent.
It's like
Uh,
super pixelated because it's not a very good image, but people will have to deal with it. He's wearing a hat.
Set is good. Don't buy Zwei, buy kaleidoscopes.
Don't buy Zwei form at 2480.
Yeah, it's not a 2480 card. Not even close.
Don't buy the brainstorm at 2000 yen either.
And don't buy the level 3 Kuro at however much it is, because that's ridiculous.
People
I
are
don't know how
really
much it
into
is.
lollies.
It's like for 1280 or something last time I checked.
That
Which
sounds
is
more
more-
reasonable.
Like Chiwa Saito, man.
The old hacks are pretty cheap.
Yeah, but Gem Deck is probably quite strong. I think it's.
It's not quite strong, it's serviceable.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of have to run a little bit hot because
If you miss your brainstorms, you're kind of fucked.
yeah, like
Well,
if
you
it
keep
does
a
go
field-
off, it feels so sweet.
if you have a field, it's probably quite good.
Yeah, that's probably the.
You can be a true baller and run that old Luvia that shoots for 7.
Just believe.
I want to run this because of an SP I have. But then I'd also have to run the SP Rin, and then I can't play full foil Luvia and only non-foil Rins. Struggling.
All right.
Alright.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep, so that would be it. It's
Yeah, that's Ilia. Ilia's a good deck. You can go out and buy it. Just make sure that you do it discreetly, lest you get put on a watch list.
I hate all of you.